Centennial ground, Skyhawk 9443 Lima, Charlie 1 run up is complete, southeast departure, and we have echo.
Cessna 9443 Lima, Centennial ground, runway 17 left, taxi via Alpha.
17 left via Alpha, 43 Lima.
Perfect.
Kilo, runway 10, taxi via.
So what I like to do though is a taxi briefing as to what we're doing.
Yep.
And then have this out as I'm taxiing. So we're at Charlie 1. There's a hotspot right here at Charlie 1 and Charlie. There's also another hotspot right here. This is for intersecting taxiways. We're going to be going down here to Alpha, taxi down Alpha to 17 left. And then there's another hotspot down here as well.
Yep.
And then we can just leave that out while we taxi. That's just kind of a good habit that I like to get into.
Okay. One other thing, I like to set this to runway.
Perfect.
So I have a frame of reference.
Definitely.
Okay.
All right, ready to rock and roll?
Yep.
Let's do it.
Parking brake out.
Decathlon 1 8 Alpha Kilo, just remain my frequency for now.
8 Alpha Kilo, welcome.
I want to come out wide of. Sunglasses.
And Decathlon 8 Alpha
We're gonna enter Alpha
Monitor
at
Tower
Alpha 8.
118.9.
Yep.
Cessna joining us 3 mile final runway 28.
So should I hug
You
this
can if you want.
line?
This is not like the most critical
Yeah.
area where you have to do that, but it's still a good habit to get on that center line.
Okay.
Alright, same thing, we'll get out on the runway. We'll go throttle up to about 2,000 RPM. Make sure everything looks good. Everything's in the green as far as engine instruments. Heels on the floor, so we're just using our toes on the bottom of those rudder pedals.
Cessna 9443 Lima, Centennial Tower, take the rolling around the corner, southeast on course approved, wing con, runway 17 left.
Would you take
traffic
this?
Cherokee on a 1 mile left base.
17 left, clear for takeoff, and then southeast on course approved, 43 Lima.
Number 75 X-ray.
Cool. Now we can just keep rocking and
I thought
rolling.
he said take the runway.
Traffic, turning
Okay.
on 1.5 mile right base for the parallel.
Coming in the parallel. I see.
5 X-ray. Fast right 45, right turn Charlie 2, proceed with the ramp, have a good one.
Cool.
Right turn,
While we're
Charlie
doing this,
2,
go ahead and
proceed
turn your
with the
landing
ramp,
light and your strobe lights on for me.
Lights. Oh no. That.
And strobe. Perfect. Cool, cool. Alright, we'll just do this on the roll, so if you just kind of want to turn out onto center line. No need to hold the brakes. Now we'll go heels on the floor.
Okay.
Making sure we're on center
I need
line.
you rolling.
Rolling out, 43 Lima.
Okay.
Perfect.
Everything's in the green. Gotta get on center line. Better.
Looking good.
Rotate at 55.
Perfect.
There's 50. 55. Rotate.
Decathlon 148 Alpha Kilo, Centennial Tower, southeast on course approved, wind
Okay.
0603, runway 10.
Now we're looking for 74 knots.
10 and southeast departure approved. Thank you, sir. 148 Alpha Kilo.
Right rudder, right rudder, right rudder. Okay.
Beautiful.
Be good.
Oh.
Woo!
A little bit of turbulence.
Right rudder, right rudder. I lost the runway. There we go. Wow, wow, wow. All right. After we cross over 470, we look over there. There'll be kind of a tall building, and then just past that, 2 red buildings right next to each other with a big parking lot and a parking garage on this side. That's where I work.
Oh, okay.
So 43 Lima, main instructions, fly towards KOA antenna, then southeast from there.
Go towards KOA antenna, the southeast on course from there, 43 Lima.
43 Lima.
So where's the KOA
disregard.
antenna?
Say that again for 43 Lima.
Yeah, disregard.
Wow, I'm having a hard time hearing him.
You can feel free to
I work right there.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, you're...
It's right where everybody turns right for the pattern.
Very cool.
75 X-ray left, Alpha 8, ground point 8 the other side.
I am off of my 170.
Alright, so go ahead and start a turn to the left for me. We're going to go towards that KOA antenna that's out there.
Full stop, we'd like 28 if you can.
Whoa, that was too much rudder. So where is the KOA antenna?
It's roughly heading 120 or so.
Northbound for
right
straight
here?
runway 28, fast track 23.
Yep.
Oh, is that one out there?
It's kind of hard to see.
13 to the southeast, full stop.
We're right, it should be right at our 12 o'clock.
On 8 Alpha Kilo traffic, 1.5 miles southwest of your position, flying towards KOA antenna, Cessna 6900 indicated.
That's us.
148 Alpha Kilo, tally hope.
Cessna 43 Lima traffic, 1 mile northeast of your position, southeast on 6600 indicated. Decathlon has you in sight.
Roger, we'll be looking for traffic, 43 Lima.
Starting Centennial Tower, say again.
Good afternoon, sir. Twin Cessna 683 Tango Mike, Echo 11 to the southeast, full stop.
So we're going up to 7500 again?
Correct, yep.
Mike, Centennial
Okay.
Tower, enter left downwind runway 17 left.
Downwind 17 left, 3 Tango Mike.
All right. I have some right rudder.
Cessna 3 Tango Mike, are you familiar with KOA antenna?
I'm climbing too fast. Or my bank angle is too high. I'm a little slow.
Twin Cessna 3 Tango Mike, are you familiar with KOA antenna?
Affirmative.
3 Tango Mike, roger, remain 1 mile west of KOA antenna. For traffic, 1 mile northwest of KOA antenna, southeast
I don't see anybody.
You're making the turn westbound now, we'll do that, sir.
The antenna's like right down in here
3
somewhere.
Lima traffic, 4 miles south of your position, north 200 left down, 7600 indicated Twin Cessna.
We'll be looking for traffic inside 43 Lima.
Fast track 23, runway 28, clear to
That guy
land.
he's talking about is kind of right out there just above the horizon.
To 10 o'clock, 3 miles eastbound, 7400 indicated Decathlon.
Looking for the traffic, runway 28, clear to land, fast track 23.
Decathlon 8 Alpha Kilo, if you can't turn more northeastbound for traffic to southeast of your position, ML for 28, 7500 indicated Cessna.
8 Alpha Kilo, no problem, sir, and we're looking for the traffic.
I don't see anybody.
Cessna 46514 Centennial Tower.
Oh, he's right, kind of just to the
Oh, there he is.
left. Yep.
I got him now.
Everything up 17 left, we'll
Okay,
fly
cool.
straight now, 46514.
Fast track 23, previously called traffic Decathlon, turning northeast, no factor.
No factor, thank you.
Wow, this trim wheel feels
Cessna 3 Tango Mike, overflight the
a lot
numbers runway
touchier than the other
28
plane.
for
I don't know if it
landing
is or
traffic.
not, but
And it might be a little bit. Every plane's just a little different.
like I'd make a
Centennial Tower,
small
fast track
adjustment.
28, we are 6 miles
And this is going to be a lighter plane too. It's also going to be, the center of gravity is going to be a little bit different. It's not going to be
Okay.
quite as nose heavy because there's less avionics in the front end as the G1000.
6 miles west with Echo, looking for a full stop terminate.
Cool. So we're outside the Delta airspace, so now we can switch over without them saying anything, switch over to practice area. So if you want to go ahead and press COM 2, switches everything over, so now we're on practice area.
It also feels weird, like in the other plane, it just feels like the nose is, when we're level, feels like the nose is pointed down.
Yeah.
Centennial southeast practice area, Piper 48 Foxtrot 7200, climbing 7500, we'll be entering the fairgrounds practice box temporarily. Southeast.
Southeast practice area is Cessna 9443 Lima, 7500 just south of Parker. We're going to be transitioning to the Castle Canyon box. Any traffic, please advise. Southeast. So if you want to kind of fly more of a, like a 170 heading or something like that.
Okay, that's exactly what I have in here.
Perfect.
I'll try.
So we can, if you look on my iPad,
Yeah.
and I'll send this to you.
Yep.
It lists out the practice boxes.
Yeah.
And so
I downloaded what is the Jeppesen company, I don't know, Jeppesen employee. Anyway, they have a website, and they have those on there, so I downloaded them and
Perfect.
and put them in. Because the last, I think 2 of the flights I did, the first Discovery flight I did and that flight we did, both was down in that area, but I didn't know exactly where.
And even if we were to go to the southwest, there's also practice boxes over there as well.
Yep. All right, and then the other thing I want to work on when we're in the air is no death grip.
Perfect.
Because I had one most of the time we flew last time. And also not trying to fight the turbulence as much.
Yeah.
Like I felt like I was constantly having to adjust. And then when you took the controls and you just took your hand off the wheel and nothing happened, it was like, okay, well,
yeah.
obviously I don't need to be doing that.
Well, it's a really hard thing for your body to get used to, right? That something's happening and it's like in theory you should be controlling the aircraft, right?
Gosh,
So it's like,
sorry, I got talking and I'm
no worries.
way off my mark. Hey, that's a cool football field.
But you know, you have a natural tendency, especially like driving a car or something like that. If it starts going one way,
yeah,
you want to make it come back, and you're in control, right?
Right.
With this turbulence, it's different, right? It's more just like chopped. It's like going through a pothole, right? So in theory, if your car's trimmed out right, or if your car's adjusted right, and you go through a pothole, nothing should really happen, right? It just goes through the pothole, and you just keep going. And that's kind of the same thing with this turbulence. As long as the aircraft's kind of set up to how you want it, you just hit your pothole, nothing really should change much.
It should come back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And my noise canceling just died, which is awesome.
Oh, I never turned mine on.
I'm just going to sneak back a little bit.
Oh.
The plane might...
It's a lot quieter now.
There we go.
I lost some altitude too. Where I'm sitting feels good this time. That was the other thing I noticed is when I have the death grip, my arm was just kind of like straight like this. And so after a little while, it tends to get kind of tired as opposed to sort of having it resting here and just using my fingertips.
Yep.
So in addition to being like this, I'm holding my arm up all the time, which, anyway. So.
No, yeah, I totally...
This definitely feels more comfortable.
And then also when you're kind of stiffed out too, it has a tendency to mess with your trim and
yeah,
you know, you just can't roll with the airplane as easy and stuff. Yeah.
Okay.
I like it. I like the critiques. Alrighty. Let's go ahead and climb up to 8,500.
Okay.
Southeast practice area Cessna 9443 Lima, 7,600 climbing 8,500 in the north side of the, what was it? Castlewood Canyon box. We're going to be maneuvering southeast. So what I would do here, since it's, in theory it was 1,000 feet to climb, now we've climbed a little bit, but I would go full power and then try to pitch for that that VY, so 74 in this plane, and that'll just help you get to that altitude a lot quicker.
Right. Yeah, I was just aiming for 500 feet per minute.
And see, in the Cessna, that's where it's kind of, in most planes, that's what you can do, but we don't have enough power in the Cessna to necessarily shoot for a specific beat per minute.
Okay.
So that's where that 74 comes into play, and then a byproduct of that is whatever our feet per minute's going to be. And it depends on, you know, the altitude, obviously, and whatnot. Now, if you're at sea level, you can kind of shoot for more of a feet per minute because the Cessna is going to perform a lot better, but at this altitude, it's more so we're just looking for that airspeed.
Okay. And even so, On takeoff, right rudder to compensate, but even now when I put full throttle in, rudder to keep from like this.
So yeah, so
I kind of felt us going.
exactly. So anytime when we're in a climb is going to be where it's most prominent, in a descent too. But anytime we're in a climb, that's when that left turning tendencies are going to be the greatest. And I'll show you with the prop when we get back to the flight school. But basically, that's when you're having more of an angle of attack and a bigger bite of air on this right side, and so it's producing more thrust on this side, which is going to pull us to that, pull us to the left, plus a couple other things. But that's when it's going to be the greatest, is when you're at those greater angles of attack, such as a climb.
Okay.
Beautiful. Alrighty.
Okay.
We're just going to keep kind of working our way south a little bit, and then we'll turn around. And what we're going to do today is we're going to start getting into slow flight and stalls.
Okay.
Did we do slow flight last time?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. So we're just going to do it again and just get comfortable with what the plane's doing, get comfortable with the flows of getting into it, and kind of, you know, just all around seeing it again. Southeast practice area, Cessna 9443 Lima, 8,500, Castle Canyon box, maneuvering southeast. Alrighty. So let's go ahead and let's do some slow flight. So, again, with any maneuver that we do, we're going to want to do clearing turns to make sure there's no aircraft around us, especially since, like, now we've been going south for quite a while. We don't know if there's anybody behind us or not.
Yep.
Things like that. So we'll do our, yep, exactly. There's a guy right there. Perfect. Let's go ahead and start that. Let's actually do a right turn since he's going to the left.
Okay.
That way we can keep him in sight a little bit longer.
So how much do we want to do? Do we want to do a
Just a
360
nice easy.
or
Yep, we'll do a 180.
180? Okay.
Just a nice easy 180.
Yeah, one thing this doesn't have is the vertical speed indicator on.
Yep.
So I'm shooting for 15 degrees?
Yeah, roughly something like that. This plane's a little bit different, so our turn coordinator is going to be right here.
Oh, yeah.
So if you put that wingtip right on that second, yep, so right where it's at,
Oh,
that'll be
right
in theory.
there. That line is.
Yep, correct.
Okay.
That'll in theory be a standard rate turn as
Gotcha.
well.
Okay.
And you can see that's again roughly 15 degrees.
Okay. Yeah, I was looking right there.
Awesome. So just doing our nice easy clearing turns, and then once we get on a 180 degree heading,
Yeah.
so roughly 350 or 360, somewhere in that ballpark.
I'm laughing because I'm doing the turn totally here. And we're supposed to be looking for other planes.
Right,
and
right.
I'm like trying to keep us on the altitude and stay right in those lines. And, all right, I got to look at, that's the other thing I got to work on. Two things taken off. I messed up a little bit on the radio again, but right rudder, which I think I did better at on the takeoff this time.
Definitely. No, the takeoff looked much better.
In the plane though, death grip and look out here.
Yep.
Those are,
So let's kind of go back to a 360 heading.
oh, I blew right by it.
No worries. We're just,
I'm an overachiever on this.
we're making dang sure there's nobody around us, right?
Yeah. On the plus side, the plane is pretty level and
Oh no, this
just
looks,
staying where it's at. So I think that's pretty good.
this looks fantastic.
Okay.
Cool. So now what we're going to do is we're going to start to kind of get into that maneuver, right? So we've done our clearing turn. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to bug my heading. So I'm going to use that heading bug to get whipped around to 360.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yep.
Alrighty. And then I'm going to go ahead and find a visual outside reference just to help me out. So, and you can really use anything. Preferably farther away, it's easier to see.
I don't know what that is out there, but there's some kind of buildings. White.
Yeah.
There's like white with some black things in front of it.
Perfect, yeah. Whatever you decide is going to be a good landmark that you can use.
Okay.
So now we've got our clearing turns done. We've got our our heading bugs, and we've figured out our visual outside reference that's going to help us out.
Okay.
Now we can start to go into the maneuver. Before I do that though, that's when I'm going to do my pre-maneuver check. And that's just going to be that quick flow of mine where I'm making sure my fuel selector's on both, I'm kind of working my way up, my trim's set to where I want it, mixture's set, throttle's ideally where I want it, like more of a cruise configuration, which it looks good. All my lights are on, magnetos are on, just everything's looking good. Sound good?
Yep.
Alrighty. So now we're going to go into the maneuver. So go ahead and pull your power back to about 1800 RPM or so. Perfect. And we're just going to try to maintain 8,400.
Okay.
And that'll help us bleed off our airspeed. Below 110 knots, we can do our first notch of flaps. So let's go ahead and do that.
Okay.
And then once we get it in that white arc, which is going to be below 85, we can go full flaps. Beautiful.
Okay.
And now we're just going to be looking for that airspeed of between 55 and 65 knots. So ideally like 60.
We're there.
Perfect.
We're below 60. Yeah, wow.
Cool, cool.
Get really mushy.
Alrighty. Let's add a little bit of power back in.
Okay.
And that's going to control our altitude because we can see that we're sinking.
Yep.
And then we can use that pitch. So in theory, we'd pitch down a little bit nose down right now to get that airspeed back.
Okay. Do I want to maintain 60?
Southeast practice area.
Yep, right around 60.
Leaving fairgrounds, going through 3 towers, headed back to Centennial at 8,000 feet.
I want to get back to level.
Southeast practice area.
Cool. Real quick for me, let's do a nice easy turn while we're doing this to the left and just flip back around so we can stay in our practice box.
Okay. More power. And how far do I want to go?
Just a 180 again.
Okay. Down.
Southeast practice area is Cessna 9443 Lima, 8,100, climbing 8,500. Slow flight, we're in the Castlewood Canyon box, transitioning southbound. Southeast. Beautiful, and you can see that these controls are super mushy.
Yep. Yeah. Sure are.
And you can use that trim to help you out as well.
Yeah, I thought I had it trimmed okay. More focusing on the speed. More focusing on the speed.
Yeah.
And the altitude. I dropped a bunch of altitude. So I blew past altitude.
So go ahead, in that case, go ahead and do full power. So since we're on that region reverse command, it's going to take a lot more power to get us back up to altitude.
Yep. So you want me to climb a little bit?
Yep, so we're going to climb back up to 8,500, but I want you just to focus on keeping that airspeed, and that's going to be that pitch.
Yep.
And then in turn, by applying full power, we're going to build up excess airspeed if we stay at this level altitude. So without thinking about it, what's going to happen is by chasing the airspeed with pitch, we're going to actually nose up just a touch.
I can't really climb at 60.
And that'll happen.
A little bit. 55 seems okay. But
Yep, it'll be very slow getting up there. And that's where on the check ride or anything like that, obviously that's very far away, but, or not very far away, but down the road, right? You know, just mentioning to the examiner, like, hey, listen, I have full power in, I'm shooting for an airspeed of 60 knots with my pitch, and I'm just really not gaining as much altitude as I wanted. They'll understand, because if it's a high density altitude day or something like that, sometimes you can't.
I have a lot of rudder in.
Beautiful.
Just to stay straight. Okay.
Alrighty, so
We're
now we're at
back at
8,500 feet. So now I'd work that power back out to roughly 2,000 RPM, 2,100, somewhere in there.
Centennial Tower, Archer 5448, Foxtrot over the Pinery, inbound for full stop with information echo. Check brief.
Okay. Maintain 60.
Yep, looking for 60, beautiful. And so you can see our airspeed's going down, so we're actually going to have to nose down a little bit to get back to 60. Not a lot, but just a little bit. And in turn, we're going to start to lose some altitude. It's already starting to want to trend in the direction of losing altitude. So I would bump my power up a little bit.
More power. Okay. Alright, that's pretty good.
Awesome. So you see how you kind of have to constantly mess with it and play with those power settings and everything like that just to get it to do what you want to do? No, this looks great. And this is slow flight. That's pretty much all it is. Just kind of playing with it, using that pitch to control that airspeed, and then using that throttle control to control that altitude. And this is exactly what we're basically doing when we're coming into land, right? We're using that pitch to control 65 knots that time though, and then adjusting that altitude with our throttle. Sweet.
Okay. I totally forget that there's an airspeed here.
Yep.
Looking over there.
Awesome, awesome. Alrighty.
Wow, we're getting a little high.
Southeast Prax area, Cessna 943 Lima, 8,500. Slow flight, Castlewood Canyon Box, southeast.
And Centennial Southeast Sparrow, 714 from Delta over Highway 86, 8,500 eastbound, back to Centennial Southeast. And we are just east of the practice box.
Sweet. Alrighty.
Okay.
Let's go ahead and recover from slow flight. So it's pretty easy. So we're gonna maintain 8,600, and all we're gonna do is we're gonna go full power, and then we're gonna transition from caring about our airspeed too much, and we're just gonna try to stay at 8,600, 500, somewhere in that ballpark.
Okay.
And let that airspeed or let that excess thrust build our airspeed back up.
Okay. And when do we let the when do we bring the flaps back up?
So you're going to go full power, maintain altitude. You're going to work one notch of flaps up basically immediately. And then as we get to like 65, 70, 75, somewhere in that ballpark, usually 70 is when I'm going to bring that next notch of flaps up. And then as I get closer to that 74, 80 mark, that's when I'm going to bring everything up.
Okay. So full power. Stay level and then bring one notch up.
Yep.
Does this have 3 notches?
It does, yep. So there's going to be
oh, so
20 degrees.
One is before the
so
notch
there
thing?
should be a little notch right here to kind of designate it, but all right, cool. So then here in a minute I would bring, so about like right here, so right around 70 knots, I'd bring that next notch up to 10.
Okay.
And then you're going to have to adjust everything a little bit because now we're starting to lose that lift.
Yep.
Maintain 8,500.
Okay.
Perfect, and then I just bring that last notch flaps up. Awesome.
Woo!
And you can feel we lose a whole bunch of lift, right, when that happens.
Can.
And that's why we don't want to just dump everything.
Yeah. And we can hear the engine going a lot faster, too.
Yep.
And we're going a lot faster. So now I want to bring it back to...
Yep, so now we go ahead and cruise it out again.
Okay.
Sweet. Alrighty. Let's go ahead and do another 180 and flip back around.
Great.
Doesn't matter which direction you want to go.
Alright, I'll go left this time.
Ideally, I like to turn to the left anytime I'm doing a clearing turn. Now, when we saw that one guy, we kind of wanted to keep an eye on him.
Yeah.
But ideally, I like to go left anytime I'm doing a clearing turn, because if there's a faster aircraft that's overtaking you, they always pass you on the right side. Or they should always pass you on the right side.
Yep.
That's kind of the rule. So I would rather turn to the left instead of turning into them, especially if I don't know they're behind me. And we'll consider this our clearing turn, just kind of...
area helicopter 911 unit from hotel, a mile south, Chatfield Reservoir. Headed southeastbound, 7,500. Going to be just to the west of Laveers and Sedalia. That's 1 Uniform Hotel Southwest.
Awesome, so about right here. Perfect. I'm not really seeing anybody, kind of maybe just glance around again, make sure nobody's around us. Looks pretty clear.
Yep.
One thing to keep in mind when you're out here, we're not really that close to it, but there's an air park that's out over that way, and they do have gliders and stuff, and they have their own special frequency. So just when you're kind of down in this southern area, just kind of keeping an eye out for traffic from that little private airport.
All right.
Awesome. Alrighty, so next thing we're going to do is we're going to do a stall. So we're going to do a power off stall. So basically what that's going to be is a demonstration of a stall in the landing configuration. So we're coming into land, we have full flaps in, we're relatively slow, and you know, maybe we're getting slow as we get close to the runway. We're not compensating by adding power or anything like that to adjust our altitude and maybe get some of that airspeed back, and we end up pitching up to try to chase that airspeed and stall or something like that, right?
Yep.
And how we're going to recover from that. So my controls, I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate it for you.
Okay.
So it's going to be that same concept with everything. We do our clearing turn, which we did. I'm going to maintain 8,400. Bug our heading, which we have, and then finding some visual outside reference. So I'm going to use, like those black buildings out there that we kind of saw before. Now what I'm going to do is it's going to be very similar to getting into slow flight. So I'm going to pull that power back, or do my pre-maneuver check. Everything looks good. Pull that power back to about 1,800 RPM or so. I'm just going to try to maintain 8,500, let that airspeed bleed off. As it does, I can work my flaps in.
Just southeast bound, 140 from Delta, just south of Fairgrounds. Over Highway 86, 8,500, eastbound, Pax Centennial, southeast.
Cool. So now I'm going to nose down a little bit for 65 knots, and that's basically going to be that demonstration that we're coming into land.
Okay.
So 65 knots, roughly 500 foot per minute descent or so. There's 64, I'm about 500 feet per minute. I'm going to hold that, so 1, 2, 3. I'm going to pull power all the way to idle, and then I'm just going to nose up about 10 degrees and just hold it right here. And it's going to get stiff. You can hear that stall horn going. I'm holding it, holding it, holding it. More right rudder. And it should brake here in a minute. And boom, there's the brake. So I'm going to let off some back pressure. Full power. Get that nose coming down just a little bit. More so level, but also a little nose down to get some airspeed back. Then once I have some airspeed back and more of a positive rate of climb, give or take, or more just kind of level flight, I'm going to work that first notch of flaps out. Now I'm starting to get some airspeed back. I'm starting to trend in the correct direction of a positive rate of climb. Now I can start to work my flaps out. There's 70. Use some trim to help me out. Now I can work my flaps all the way out. And I only lost about 300 feet in altitude throughout that entire maneuver. And that's how you would recover.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Sounds simple.
Yeah, it's not too bad. It does take a little bit of manhandling of the plane because it doesn't want to stall, right? You're forcing it to stall, which is good, but also, you know, it does take some work.
But in slow flight, everything gets really mushy, but I assume as you get closer and closer to stall, you're losing more and more.
Exactly. I mean, we got down to, 20, 25 knots or something like that, right? So we'll just gradually get up to 8,500, see where we're at. We'll go ahead, I'm just going to turn this around and then I'm going to have you do it. So we'll do a nice easy clearing turn. And then we don't want, I mean, you're going to notice you're going to need some right rudder. Biggest thing is we just want to stay coordinated. Because what can happen in a stall is if one wing gets too low and it stalls first, that's where we're going to get into that spin situation. Now we have plenty of altitude, but ideally don't really want to get into a spin today.
Yeah.
Or ever, right?
Yes. Okay. Yeah, when I said sounds simple, I mean, it sounds simple, but doing it is probably
exactly,
a little different.
And it's definitely going to take a feel to get used to it.
Yep, okay.
Get us back down to 8,500. Nice easy turn, I'm not really seeing anybody. And we'll roll out here on a heading of 180. Alrighty, your controls.
My controls?
Your controls.
Okay.
Alright, so let's go ahead and let's bug our, we'll consider that our clearing turn.
Hawk for you from Delta is just south of the 3 Towers practice box over Highway 86, 8,500 southeast.
Southeast practice area, Cessna 9443 Lima, 8,500 in Castlewood Canyon box. We're going to be practicing stalls, southeast. Alrighty. Cool. Okay. So we got our heading bug. We can find some sort of visual outside reference. So maybe, you know, the road or...
Into the mountains up there.
Yeah, into the mountains. Beautiful.
Okay.
Cool. So now we're going to get into it. Like I said, very similar to slow flight.
Okay, so... half the time when I want to pull, I push. So I'm going to 1900 RPM?
Yeah, 18, 19, somewhere in there. Yeah.
1800 RPM.
Just reducing that. Beautiful, and then we're just going to try to maintain that altitude, and that'll help bleed our airspeed off. Once we're within that white arc,
we are.
So we can go full flaps.
I want to take it one step at a time, right?
Sounds good, yep.
714, you from Delta is on the north border of the Castlewood Canyon practice box over Highway 86, 8,500 is westbound back to Centennial, last call, southeast.
Okay, now I want to keep 60. Then I want to add.
You can add a little. Yep. You
little? Okay.
Yeah,
sorry.
I would do just a little.
Just a little.
So that way we can get up to 65 knots and we're not just descending trying to get to that.
Okay. So should I pitch down for 65?
Correct, yep. A little bit more nose down. Your power's actually set really well.
Oh, okay. Nose down. Nose down always feels weird.
Yep.
So there's a little bit.
65 knots. You can see we're about a 500 foot per minute descent. Hold it for a couple seconds and then go ahead, go power all the way to idle.
All right, here's the scary part.
All right, and then nose up about 10 degrees.
Up. Okay. Wow, I gotta really pull. There's 10.
Just hold it right here.
Oh yeah. There's the stall horn.
Keep holding it, keep holding it, keep holding it. And there we go, there's the stall, so let a little bit of back pressure off, go full power.
Okay.
Yep. Now keep that nose from pitching up on you, just kind of keep it level. And you can see our airspeed starting to come back, a little more nose down. There we go.
I need trim.
There you go.
Okay.
And you can see we're not losing any more altitude and we're starting to get some airspeed back, so go ahead and do flaps 20.
There.
Beautiful.
Okay.
And just kind of keep that nose level, help build some airspeed up, and then about 65 knots.
Okay.
Work that next notch of flaps out. And now we can start to work our nose up and start to get back into a climb. Not a lot, just a little bit. And you can see now we have a positive rate of climb.
Yep.
Now we can work that last notch of flaps
almost
out.
does it by itself.
Exactly, yep.
Once we got the power in.
And then we can start a climb or stay level, whatever would, you know,
so I lost
help in that scenario.
I lost more than you.
And that happens, right? Because a
about-
lot of it was just trying to get set up, and we're losing some altitude as we're doing that.
Yeah, I
And
also
that's-
had to really hold. I really had to pull back
Yep.
to get it to go. Like in the beginning, it was not bad, but as we started to approach the stall, it just didn't wanna come up.
Exactly, yep. And basically what happens there is you're in a stalled situation, but this plane doesn't ever want to stall, so it's what they call a falling leaf, so you're just kind of doing this,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
losing altitude.
7,300 headed southeastbound.
Alright. Rudder, rudder, rudder.
Southeast practice spot, or correction, southeast practice area, Cessna 9443 Lima, 8,500 in the Castlewood Canyon box, maneuvering southeast. Sweet. Alrighty.
The other thing is splitting my time between, I'm going the wrong way again. Splitting my time between managing the throttle and trying to manage the trim as we're coming in and out, because I'm using the, full throttle, trying to pull the throttle back to, cruise, but at the same time trying to trim it out as we're coming out of the climb so that I'm not having to fight the wheel.
And
like back and forth.
And that's where you're just going to kind of develop that habit as you get more comfortable with everything that's happening and the feel for the airplane.
Yeah.
And you'll get it set, you'll get that trim set, and then you'll be focusing on something else, and you're like, this doesn't mess with the trim a little bit, right? Mess with the power.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay.
All right,
Oh,
so
that
let's,
wasn't that bad.
No, let's do a 180. That'll be our clearing turn again, and we'll do it again.
All right.
We'll do this a couple more times just so you can get a feel for it, and then we're going to do what's called a power on stall. So that's going to be a stall in the takeoff configuration. And that one's a little bit trickier.
Okay.
Awesome. I'm not seeing any traffic, so I think we're looking good.
Okay.
All right, so that'll be that clearing turn, and then from here we can just start to go into the maneuver.
All right, so back off the power. I'm going the wrong way.
So we'll bug our heading first.
Oh, bug the heading first.
Yep.
Okay.
Find that outside reference.
I got the outside reference right.
Perfect. Yep. I like it. And the reason I do this is just it helps me. I'm using all the available tools I have to kind of keep me going in the direction I want to go. And especially once you get to the check ride, they give you a certain amount of heading that you have on these stalls and some of these, or most of these maneuvers, right? So this just kind of helps you to keep that heading and keep your direction, your situational awareness.
Trying to get back up to 85-ish. All right. Okay.
All right. Looking good. So now, do our pre-maneuver check, which we pretty much nothing has changed, right? So just kind of verifying that everything still looks good.
So what are the things we want to do?
So I do basically what's called a check mark, or at least that's kind of how I look at it.
Yeah.
So fuel selectors on both. If we had a fuel shut off in, coming up and over, making sure our mixture's set, and then going back, throttle, carb heat, all that jazz looks good. Like lights look good, the whole 9 yards. So it's kind of, I guess you could work from that way too and come down, but I go up and over.
Okay.
Sound good?
Yep.
Alrighty, so now we can rock and roll into the maneuver.
Yeah, let me get lined up here with my reference. Okay. So power down to 1800.
Perfect.
I always think
Forward is...
I always think like that's closing it, but it's actually the opposite. Okay. So back to 1800. Level. I can put in the first notch of flaps. Oh, wow. But I want to go down to 60 first.
So ideally what we're doing, so I like
altitude.
to maintain the altitude.
Yeah, I'm losing altitude.
And that's okay. I like to maintain the altitude because what happens is it bleeds off my airspeed and it gets
Yeah.
me into my flap settings quicker, and then that's where I can just kind of throw my flaps in.
Okay.
And then I can focus on the airspeed and getting to that
And
65
then that
knots.
last notch of flaps.
There we go. And then you can start that kind of nose down to pitch for 65.
Okay. Oh yeah. Okay. Pretty good.
All right, power out.
Oh yeah. Power's out.
Then add that back pressure up to about 10 degrees nose up.
So do you do that right away?
Yep.
Okay.
And then just holding it right here, holding it. Looking good, keep holding that. There you go, keep adding that back pressure.
Yep. Lighten it.
There we go,
There it
there's the
goes.
stall, so let
Okay.
off on that back pressure, full power. And then you don't really necessarily need to go nose down like crazy, but
Yep.
kind of dip below the horizon to get some of the
Just to
airspeed
get
back,
the
and then
airspeed
level
back.
out like you're doing, that's perfect.
Okay.
Kind of level out right there. And you can see we're not losing any altitude, but we're gaining airspeed, so now our next notch of flaps. There we go.
Okay.
And just trying to maintain this, and now we can even kind of start a gradual climb. Not crazy, but we're showing a trend in the correct direction of
Yep.
positive rate.
Next notch up.
Yep, and then you just work your flaps out. Beautiful.
Next. Away.
And so from the time the stall actually happened to the time you recovered was only about 200 feet, so that's good. The rest
Okay.
of that altitude loss was just, you know, getting into the maneuver, which that'll just come with time.
Yeah.
All right, let's go ahead and do a 180 while we climb back up.
Okay. I'm just gonna bug this now. I normally think of trying to stay level while we're in the turns, but I want to be climbing this time. Oh, but I went right past south.
Southeast practice area, Cessna 9443 Lima, 8,500 in the Castle Canyon box, maneuvering southeast. Alrighty, beautiful.
Okay.
So we've done our clearing turn, so we're just going to do one more, and then we'll move into the power on stall.
Okay.
Done our clearing turn, not seeing any traffic around us. So now what'll be next?
The check. That's good. Those are good. Okay.
Awesome, awesome.
It's all good.
Alrighty.
Then pull back to...
And you can leave more power in too if you feel like that's going to help you to not lose as much altitude. Just know that
wow, I lost my visual reference. Okay, sorry.
you might have to adjust it a little bit when you're in that descent.
Yep.
But you can feel free to play around with that.
Okay. So now, am I just trying to be level, or do I want to pitch up for 60?
Nope, so we're just trying to maintain that altitude right now.
Okay.
And by doing that, that's going to bleed that airspeed off.
Yep. Okay.
We'll go ahead and throw our flaps in as we do it.
Oh, that I missed. All right, we're at 6. I want to pitch for 65.
Correct, yep.
Okay, there we are. Then pull back.
So power out.
Oh, power out.
There we go. And then just hold it right here. Yep, trying to keep one hand on the throttle if you can.
Yep.
Beautiful, beautiful.
I can feel it going. There
we go. Perfect. Beautiful. Alright. Keep that nose coming down just a touch. There we go, about right there.
Speed coming up. Yep.
Keep your speed coming up. Alright,
Okay.
now your first notch flaps. Nice.
Okay. Second notch flaps.
And then once we get back to that like 62, I'll say 65 to like 75 range, you can actually start to initiate kind of a gradual climb. Excuse me, just a little nose up. So that way we can try to get some of that altitude back. It's just right at first we don't want to be climbing because we don't want to get into a secondary stall.
Yep.
Sweet. All right, let's go ahead and climb back up to 8,500, and then we'll do a power on.
Okay.
So basically a power on is going to be in the landing configuration, or excuse me, the takeoff configuration. So that's going to be no flaps, and it's going to be full power, just like if we were to be taking off.
Okay.
So what we're going to do is something very similar in the fact of like getting it set up, just minus the flaps and going full power. So what we're going to do is we'll do our clearing turns, pre-maneuver check, that whole 9 yards. That all stays the same for any maneuver. And then we're going to pulse the power back to about 1,800 RPM or so. Maintain altitude. Let this plane slow down to about 55 knots or rotation speed. Then we're going to go full power and then pitch up to about 20 degrees nose up and just hold it there.
Power, okay.
Alright, so my controls, I'll go ahead and demonstrate it for you.
Alright.
Cool, so we got our visual outside reference. Everything's looking good. So I'm going to go ahead and pull our power back. And I'm just going to maintain 8,500. I'll keep a little bit of speed in there, a little bit of power. There we go. Just holding this, so we're at 8,600, that'll be okay. Maybe a little less power. Help us get down to 55. Flaps up. Come on. There we go. 55. I'm going to go full power, nice and easy, because it's going to want to nose up on me. Right rudder, just to stay coordinated, and then I'm just going to nose up to about 20 degrees nose up, and I'm just going to hold it right here. And And you can see my airspeed starting to bleed out. There's the stall horn. And it's going to get hard. There we go. So there was the stall.
There it is.
It's not as prominent. All I'm going to do is make sure I'm full power, nose down, basically level,
about 6 miles to the east of
get that airspeed back,
heading east southeast
and start that climb again. You can see we really didn't lose any altitude.
Southeast, good afternoon.
Cool, cool.
Yeah, the airspeed got down to nothing.
Alrighty. Your controls. We'll go back down to 8,500. Your controls.
Okay.
Southeast Prax area, Cessna 9443 Lima, 8,500. We're maneuvering the Castlewood Canyon box, southeast.
Okay.
Alrighty.
Alright.
So we won't do a clearing turn. We'll just continue on this heading. I don't see anybody around us, so that'll be perfect.
Okay.
Alrighty.
So, you want to talk me through?
Yeah, no problem.
So
go ahead and pull some power back.
About 1800 again?
Yeah, somewhere in there.
Okay.
Maybe even a little less since we're not going to have those flaps in there to help slow us down. We're just going to maintain altitude and get down to 55 knots.
Okay.
And then if you find it's just like right now, it's kind of not bleeding the airspeed off quick enough. We can leave it right here because it is. But down the road, like if you find that it's just not bleeding off quick enough, you can always pull a little more power too.
Okay.
Yeah, because we really don't want to climb either. We just kind of want to stay
Southwest
right at.
practice area, Cessna 6038 Victor, going to be transitioning over Chatfield, 7,500 west to east towards Centennial, southwest.
Okay. 55.
Go ahead and just nice and
Now
smooth.
Full power.
Full power.
And do I pull back at the same time?
Yep, so full power, and then that's when I'm going to nose up to that
20?
20 degrees nose up.
Okay.
Trying to keep those wings level and keep that right rudder in there. A little more wings level. There you go. Using that rudder to help you out. A little more right rudder. Just hold it right here. And there it is.
Oh,
so let off that back pressure. Yep.
Okay. Gosh, I could barely feel it.
I know it. Yeah. Beautiful. We got airspeed back, and then at 74 we can initiate that climb again. Or level out. Whatever we need to do.
Okay.
Sweet. All right. Whenever you're ready and you're all...
Centennial Southeast Kite, 616 Foxtrot, about 2 miles to the west of Cap 586. We'll stay at 7,500 and just kind of avoid you guys southeast. Cap 586, that sounds good. Thanks. We'll be heading back to Centennial in a minute.
All right, let's do a left-hand turn, and we'll sneak back around to the north.
Okay.
Southeast Prax area, Cessna 9443 Lima is at 8,500. We're just south of the Castlewood Canyon box. We're going to be transitioning north back into the Castlewood Canyon box, southeast. Yeah, so it's not as prominent of a stall because it stalls and then immediately it has enough thrust to get that airspeed back.
Yeah.
Kind of, or to at least break its stall. So we do have somebody right there.
Yep.
I don't know what he's doing. Let's kind of go over to the left a little bit.
It's coming all the way around. Oops.
Go ahead and lift your wing up a little. Oh,
Yep, I see him.
Perfect.
Just heading south. Like he's going straight south.
Cool. Alrighty, we'll kind of keep going north just a little bit, get back in that practice box and away from that guy.
Yeah.
And then we'll go ahead and do one more.
Okay.
Alrighty, this looks pretty good. Let's go ahead and do one more power on.
Okay. So we did our clearing turn. Nobody's around. Stuff looks good. So bug my heading. Gonna go due north. Got my reference point up there. Pull the power back. Almost there. $55.
There we go.
Full power. Oh, rudder, a lot of rudder. Pull back to 20.
Keep that back pressure going.
Oh, yep.
Just hold it right here if you can. And there we go.
There it is.
So let that nose down. Get that airspeed coming back in. Alright, and now we can add that back pressure to start that gradual climb again. Beautiful.
Okay.
Alrighty.
Alright.
Awesome. How do you feel about those?
Not bad. The full power one is harder to get it to go.
Yep.
And it's even more so than the slow flight. It starts to get wiggly as you lose all the airspeed. Oh, getting really high. But okay, doesn't
Cool.
feel that bad. You know, I was expecting it to feel a lot
More like
weirder.
aerobatics.
Yeah, but it didn't really feel like much, to be honest.
No, you did great.
It was okay.
I like it.
Oop, I gotta pull power out. That's why we're climbing.
Nice.
I'm going, how come I'm
like
climbing?
Alright, let's go ahead and transition back to Centennial, and we'll do a couple touch and goes, just to get familiar with landing.
Alright. The wind should be easier this time.
Definitely.
Last time
coming in sideways.
We were coming in, yeah. But actually, it honestly wasn't too bad. I was again looking back at the video. I was overcompensating coming in. I'm sure a lot, but I mean general direction. I mean wasn't terrible. I didn't think. I thought it was okay.
Yeah.
Then we got down to the very bottom, and you helped out, which I really appreciated.
Cool.
Yep.
Alright, so where are we from Centennial?
We are southeast.
Perfect. So, excuse me. So, the easiest way to kind of get going in the right direction via GPS is just going to be hit direct. And then, yep. Centennial.
Whoop, I hit the wrong one.
So just hit back.
There's the back. Oh, there we go. Let's cancel. Okay.
Oh.
That's okay. Direct. Nearest.
Perfect.
Tax area.
Did I hit direct again?
Yep.
Okay.
8,300 climbing,
should.
8,500.
Oh, sorry, activate right here.
Oh, activate. Yeah.
For some
There we go.
maneuvers. sorry.
Draws that line straight there for us. We can zoom in if we need to.
We're 12 miles.
Cool, cool. So let's kind of keep going on this northbound heading.
Oh yeah, because they have us land 17.
Yep. So that'll just be there to, we know we are going to be on that north side, right? So if we just kind of keep going north, that'll help out with the controllers, and that'll give us some time to get our weather and everything we need to go back in there to make sure nothing has changed.
So do you think they'll give us 17, or do you think they'll give us 27?
They'll probably give us 17 right, the farmost west runway, because that's the one that they typically do.
Practice. Anybody in the
Oh, right, okay. I gotcha. Touch and goes.
And let's go ahead and start our descent down to 7,500 for me.
Okay.
Southeast practice area, Cessna 9443 Lima, 8,400, descending down 7,500. We're transitioning over the Pinery, transitioning back to Centennial Southeast. All right, so let's go ahead and get our weather. So if you just hit that, that'll transfer
runway 17
weather
left,
over.
17 right, 1028 open and available. Notice airmen, multiple construction cranes are in the vicinity of Centennial Airport. Hazardous weather information for Colorado is available from flight service. Use caution for simultaneous operations to closely separated parallel runways. VFR departures advise ground control direction of flight. All departures advise ground control if you require run-up and when it's complete. Remain on ground control frequency until advised. Advise on initial contact, you have information. Foxtrot.
Foxtrot.
Centennial Airport information, Foxtrot. 2053 Zulu. Wind 0405. Ceiling visibility better than 5,005. Temperature 20. Dew point -8. Altimeter 3005. Visual approach in use. Landing and departing runway 17 left. 17 right. 1028 open and available. Notice airmen, multiple construction cranes are in the vicinity of Centennial Airport. Hazardous weather information for Colorado is available from flight service. Use caution for simultaneous operations to closely separated parallel runways. VFR departures advise ground control direction of flight. All departures advise ground control if you require run-up and when it's complete. Remain on ground control frequency until advised. Advise on initial contact, you have information. Foxtrot.
Awesome, so we got Foxtrot. You good?
Yep, I missed everything from...
Centennial Airport information, Foxtrot.
Missed everything from the weather.
2053 Zulu. Wind 0405.
Oh,
Ceiling
040.
visibility better than 5,005. Temperature 20. Dew point -8. Altimeter 3005.
3005. Perfect.
Okay.
All right, let's kind of go a little bit more towards like a north heading, so kind of where your heading bug is.
Yeah.
Beautiful. And then we'll go ahead and call up Centennial. So we can go ahead and switch back over to tower. So if you want to go ahead and press COM 1 for me. And go ahead and hit the bottom one. That's what'll switch everything over.
Oh, okay.
Perfect.
I got you.
Sweet. All right, so same concept. We're about 6 miles to the southeast. Looking for pattern work, so it'll be Centennial Tower, Cessna 9443 Lima. 6 miles to the southeast. Request touch and goes with Foxtrot.
121.8 for pass track 42.
Centennial Tower, Skyhawk 9443 Lima, 6 miles to the southeast with Foxtrot, touch and goes.
Twin Cessna 3 Tango Mike, fly straight out, wind calm, runway 17 left, cleared for takeoff.
Straight out departure 17.
Let's sneak
Takeoff.
just over there.
Cessna 9443 Lima, remain at or above 7,300. Fly northbound, you have traffic 1 o'clock and 1.5 miles westbound to Seneca 6,800.
I didn't catch the last part of that.
Alright, maintain at or about 7,300. We'll fly northbound and we'll be looking for that traffic 43 Lima.
Cessna 4 Mike Juliet, traffic
What did she
10
say at
o'clock,
the end?
1.5 miles northbound, Cessna.
She was just explaining where the traffic was.
Indicated. Remain at or above 7,300 for you.
Looking for Mike Juliet, thank you.
Cessna 4, and fly to Parker and Arapahoe, expect runway 17 right.
Was that us?
Yep.
Parker and Arapahoe, expect 17 right, 43 Lima.
Twin Cessna 3, Tango Mike, southeast approved.
Southeast, 3 daylight. Centennial Tower, this is Cap 586 with information Foxtrot, 10 miles east, requesting...
Alright, so there's Parker Road right there, so if you just kind of want to follow it towards Arapahoe, so it's going to be kind of right over there.
Which one is Parker? Or did you say Arapahoe?
Parker is...
Oops, I got up too high.
5-4.
That's not Parker.
Cessna
Oh, that's
70,
470, right?
Yep.
Centennial
Gotcha.
Tower, fly straight out, wind 0304.
Let's go ahead and start our descent down to 7,300.
17 left, clear for takeoff, 225.
And fly like a heading of... Let's do 330.
Cap 586, Centennial Tower said touch and goes with Foxtrot.
Touch and goes Foxtrot, Cap 586.
Cap 586, roger, fly to Parker and Arapahoe, expect runway 17 right.
Parker and Arapahoe, Cap 586. Runway 17 right.
So right at that intersection right there is Parker and Arapahoe.
I
that
see it.
Big
Yep, I see
shopping
it.
complex.
I got
Perfect.
it.
So we'll go right for that guy.
Okay. So should I go past Arapahoe?
Nope, we can go straight towards it.
Oh, alright. And level out at 6,900?
Yes, correct. Actually, let's maintain... Let's go back to 7.2 or so, just in case she wanted us to still be at 7.3. She didn't really
okay.
say altitude at
Yeah,
discretion, but it was kind of
that's true.
implied. Just so that way we don't get yelled at.
Okay.
I think it was more just over that traffic, which is no factor now, but just in case.
Cessna 4 Lima, contact tower 123.7.
Over to tower 43 Lima.
Then should we make a call or should we wait for
So I would
that?
just say Centennial Tower, Cessna 4,
Victor, cross 17 left.
9443 Lima's with you.
Cross 17 left, to ground the other side. Good day.
Good day.
Centennial Tower, Skyhawk 943 Lima, Parker and Arapahoe.
Cessna 443 Lima, Centennial Tower, roger, continue left base, runway 17 right.
Left base 17 right, 43 Lima.
Sweet. Alright, so now we can start that descent to 6.9.
70225 with you.
70225, Centennial Tower, roger, continue straight out.
We'll continue straight out, 225.
And I would just kind of stay right over Arapahoe.
Damage to
So that'll bring us in for a really nice pace.
This is the exact way we came in my first discovery
Damage to
flight.
Whiskey Foxtrot,
Okay.
continue downwind, I will clear base.
SR20.
You'll base, 2 Whiskey Foxtrot.
Cessna 954, frequency approved to the southeast there.
And I want 90 knots.
43
yeah,
Lima, 17
give or
right,
take.
crew touch and go, on the go, make right, close traffic.
That might have been for us.
Cessna 43 Lima, runway 17 right, crew touch and go the right side.
Clear touch and go on 17 right, 43 Lima.
Cool. So you can see the runways are right down there. So let's go ahead and start our descent.
225, turn
yeah,
right
I
to
see 'em
crossing
now.
now, make
So
right,
I'd pull
close
some
traffic,
power out.
17 right,
Yep, yep,
traffic to
yep,
follow
yep,
behind
yep.
into your right.
And then I would do our first notch of flaps as well, since we're below 110.
Traffic, we'll
Okay.
start crosswind, 225.
Keep that nose coming down. Beautiful.
Cap 586 is
Yeah, there it is, got it. Okay, I see the runway. Should be turned more like this. Okay,
So right now we should be looking for about 75 to 80 knots.
780.
3 Whiskey Foxtrot, you can turn
Somewhere in
base,
that
try to follow
ballpark.
south
Closer
your
to
right lane
75
on
is
the
what I would
left
say.
base, Cessna
Okay.
11
And in this
right.
case, we need to lose altitude, so I would just pull a little bit more power.
Base now,
Okay.
touch and go, 17 right, 2 Whiskey Foxtrot.
Cap 586, you continue on the left base, runway 17 right, try for the follow.
Alrighty,
Diamond
I
Star
throw our
turning
next
into
notch of
mile right
flaps in
base.
to 20 degrees.
Following the Diamond Star.
Keeping that nose coming
continue
down.
For 17 right,
And then we'll be looking for about
Cessna
60.
06 uniform,
Turn?
extend down, I'll
Yep.
call your base.
Extend downwind, 06 uniform.
Cessna 225, extend down to follow Cessna head on the downwind just south of IKEA.
Alrighty, I'd pull.
Extend the downwind, 225,
Yeah,
looking for
actually this looks
traffic.
pretty good. I'd throw our next notch of flaps in as well. And then keep that
Traffic
nose
impact
coming down
225.
for 65 knots.
585, right.
Okay,
There you go.
All right. The only thing I wanted to work on is
Cat
rudders.
586 traffic to follow 1 o'clock over to 12 o'clock.
Keep that nose coming down. Keep that nose coming down.
6,400.
All right, so now add some power back in.
Cat 586, look.
There we go. Keep that nose coming down. That's that goofy thing, right? Where it's keeping that nose coming down, add that power.
Yep.
A little more power. There we go.
Okay.
Alrighty, keep that nose coming towards the runway.
Around right side.
Start to work that power all the way to idle. Keep that nose coming down.
Cat 586.
Alright, start to level it out a little less, just a little bit. We're just going to level it out. Just hold it right here.
Cat 586,
Beautiful.
clear touch
flaps
and
up.
go, runway 17 right.
Alrighty, now full
Full
power.
power.
Star 3 Whiskey Foxtrot
Wow, it
traffic
wants to
passing
take off right
IKEA
away.
on the downwind Cessna.
More power.
Whoop,
There we go.
whoop, whoop. Yeah. Okay.
Half my right wing, clear Whiskey
Alright.
Star 3 Whiskey Foxtrot affirmative. You can turn cross it to follow that traffic.
Turning crosswind, following that traffic, 3 Whiskey Foxtrot.
Cessna 06 uniform, turn base. Runway 17 right, clear touch and go, wind 050.
Turning base,
I wanna
17 right,
climb
clear
more.
touch and go, 06 uniform.
Perfect.
Cessna 225, follow Cessna ahead on the downwind about to turn base. Runway 17 right, clear touch and go.
We'll follow traffic 17 right, clear touch and go 225.
Star 3 Whiskey Foxtrot, follow the Cessna ahead on the downwind. Runway 17 right, clear touch and go.
17 right, clear touch and go, following Cessna on downwind, 3 Whiskey Foxtrot.
Cessna 43 Lima, extend upwind quarter mile past Lincoln, then turn crosswind.
Extend upwind quarter mile past Lincoln, 43 Lima.
Sweet. And one thing we forgot to do is the carb heat.
Oh yeah.
And that's where that checklist should have come into play.
Yeah.
And it got a little hectic there. But that's okay. Not
Yeah,
the end of the world.
We were a little sideways on the landing. I could feel.
That was good though.
So is this
This is Lincoln,
this is
right?
Lincoln, yeah.
Yep.
All right.
As soon as we cross over Lincoln, then we can start that crosswind. They try to want us inside I-25 or to the east I-25.
Yep.
So it's going to kind of just be a really no crosswind turn.
Okay. So about here?
Yep.
We're right at pattern altitude now. I want to level off. I'm still climbing.
586, I see you on the go around, follow Cessna on the right crosswind.
Cat 586, follow Cessna on the crosswind.
Awesome. Go ahead and pull some of that power and we'll get back down to 6,900.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
I got too high, I could feel it. Okay.
I love turbulence.
Oh, wrong way. We want to be about 90.
Alright, so I'm going to grab the checklist from you real quick. And I'm
Okay.
just going to help you go through it.
All right.
Cat 586, traffic headed to your left off the parallel higher. Cessna departed to the west.
Cat 586, inside.
So about midfield is when I'm going to start to work through my
43
checklist.
Lima, number 3,
In terms of
following down the
RPMs,
star
like-
on a 2 mile final, runway 17 right. Clear touch and go. Additional traffic, Gulf Stream on a 5 mile final for the parallel caution wave turbulence.
Clear for touch and go. We'll watch for the wake turbulence 43 Lima.
43 Lima, just verify runway 17 right.
Clear for touch and go 17 right 43 Lima. Ah,
Perfect.
rookie mistake.
Alright, make sure we don't get too low right
Oh,
here.
yeah,
Perfect, perfect. So you want to know about RPM?
Yes.
Just kind of like what RPM you want in the downwind, is that what you're looking for?
Just like, yeah, if we're staying at
About
pattern
21,
altitude, you know.
2,000, 2,100
All right.
altitude, 2,100 RPM, so like
Okay.
that. And then when we get a BMR 1,000 footers, that's going to be where I start to configure.
Okay.
So about right here, that's when I'm going to pull my power back to, or do my flow, my before landing checklist if you will. So pull power back to about 1800 RPM.
Okay.
Going around 225.
Alright, I'm going to add my car beat in.
So I pull it out?
Yep. And then flaps 10.
Going
Perfect.
around 225.
And now we're going to start to bring that nose down as well.
Alright, we'll follow them 225.
And so we're going to be looking for that 75 to 80 knots right here.
Okay. Right at 75.
There's that Gulfstream right there, coming over Arapahoe.
He's going to be on the parallel, or is he going to be
Yep.
on ours?
Nope, he's on the parallel.
Okay.
Cool, and about right here, I'm going to start to turn my crosswind, or excuse me, my downwind.
Okay, and this is the Arapahoe Road right here, right?
Yep.
I keep the nose down.
Yep, keep that nose come down. I would pull maybe just a touch. Actually, this looks pretty good, never mind. We're just going to go ahead and throw our next notch of flaps in. Beautiful, and this is where we're going to look for between 70 to 75 knots.
Okay. Right on 70.
Perfect. And we're going to watch for that wake turbulence. It does look like the wind is blowing this way, so it will blow that wake turbulence over. So we may want to be just a touch higher. Should be okay. We'll just be careful or cautious of it. All right, now I'm going to start to turn final.
Traffic headed to your left off the parallel. We'll be turning southwestbound.
There we got him.
And then looking for 65 knots. And once we get rolled out on final, we'll throw that next notch of flaps in, or that last notch of flaps. You can see we're pretty much right on glide slope, so we're just going to try to ride this glide slope down.
Okay. Turn a little more. Okay, now the flaps.
586. Disregard.
There we go. A little bit, just kind of level out right here. That'll get our altitude back, and we have excess airspeed, so that'll help leave that airspeed off.
Okay.
All right, go ahead and add a little bit of power in for me. Just a little bit. There we go. And just kind of keep level. Keep that nose down, but kind of keep level.
Yep.
Use that power to help keep you going into that glide slope. So we don't get too awful low.
Traffic off the base for the parallel Cessna.
Cap 586.
Looking good. Now as we keep that nose coming towards the runway, and as soon as we cross over the numbers, start to pull that power all the way to idle. Beautiful.
Okay.
Keep that nose coming down.
Okay.
Alright, start to level it out here. Just level it out.
Yep.
Just hold it. Alright, a little bit less right rudder and more back pressure.
Nope.
Alrighty. Flaps up. And full power. There's 55.
That was a little rough.
That's alright. That happens. And car beat off as well.
Oh.
There we go.
Yeah, right when we get down.
Cessna 225, follow Cessna right base, runway 17 right, clear, touch and go.
17 right, clear, touch and go, traffic in sight, 225.
Alright, the next time he calls us back, or even
beforehand,
beforehand, we're going to let him know that this is going to be a full stop terminate.
Okay.
Clear run, 17 right, following traffic, 3 Whiskey Foxtrot.
Cessnas are kind of tricky to land.
Cessna 225, traffic on a 5-mile right base for the parallel, 8,000 descending TBM.
Looking for traffic, 225.
So this time, we're going to want to start turning right about here probably, right?
Yep.
Okay. Should I just give him a call now?
Yeah, you can give him a call now and just say that this next one will be a full stop terminate.
Okay.
Jammer Star 3 Whiskey Foxtrot, traffic 4-mile final for the parallel TBM, 7,600 descending. Roger, 3 Whiskey Foxtrot.
Centennial Tower, Skyhawk 44 Lima. This time we're going to be full stop.
Verify 43 Lima requesting full stop.
That's affirmative. 43 Lima requesting full stop.
This is 43 Lima, roger on request.
Okay.
Perfect.
Okay. I will say this is one thing. The feel of the plane, totally not there, but like the visual of where you are and the pattern in the sim is
Pretty spot on.
yeah, it's really good. Just knowing how far you are, what the runways
On frequency, 39 X-ray.
should look like, how far away you
39
are.
X-ray, Centennial Tower, flight to the
Especially
west
here
shore,
where
Cherry
you got
Creek,
such
make
great-
straight in, runway 17 right.
Where you got such great natural
Fly
landmarks
to
with
Cherry
Lincoln,
Creek and make
I-25
straight
and
in,
Arapahoe.
Right,
Oh,
39
yeah.
39 X-ray.
Cessna 43 Lima, follow Dime Star, 1 mile, final runway 17 right, clear to land, wind 0203.
We'll follow the traffic clear to land 17 right, 43 Lima.
Love it.
All right.
Cool. So about right here, go ahead and pull that power to 18. Carb heat and first notch flaps. Beautiful. And then we can start that
Nose
descent.
down. So do we do that? I've heard other people say a beam the numbers.
I like to do it a beam 1,000 footers.
Okay.
The reason being is you don't extend out so far.
Yep.
39 X-ray traffic.
Because you want it to be about 40, you want the numbers to roughly, or whatever your aiming point is, which in this case is our 1,000 footers. So you can see right now, actually here in a minute,
Traffic in sight,
the 1,000
39
footers are
X-ray.
going to be about a 45, and that'll be about right over Arapahoe, and
Yeah.
that's perfect.
Okay.
That way you're
Start
not
our-
going way far out. Yep.
Start our base turn.
And then once you roll out level on your base turn, go ahead and throw that next notch of flaps in, as long as you're below 85.
Dime Star 3 Whiskey Foxtrot, left turn Bravo 12, taxi north on Bravo this frequency.
Okay.
Left on Bravo 12, north on Bravo, this frequency 3 Whiskey Foxtrot.
Cat 586, extend downwind on fire base.
Now I should be
Cat 586,
75.
Yeah, somewhere in there. You actually look really good.
Okay.
And if you've done this right, you don't really have to mess with the power too much. Cool, now we can
Turn.
start that turn in. Yep.
I'm always afraid with this parallel runway of getting out too far, so I tend to do it too early.
Yeah, no. I totally get it. Alright, now next notch of flaps.
Okay.
And we're pretty much right on glide slope, so that's awesome. Those lights are kind of hard to see, but this is looking really
yeah.
good.
Yeah.
We are a little fast though.
Okay. Should I pull power out or just pitch up?
Yep, just kind of pitch
Oops,
up a little
that's a carb
bit.
heat.
I would maybe pull a little bit of power out,
Yep.
but start that pitch up too. There we go. That'll kind of help keep us level.
Okay.
Now add a little bit of power back in so we don't start sinking.
Cessna 43 Lima, go around.
Go around 43 Lima. Well, this will be
Go
interesting.
full power. Full power.
Okay.
And carb heat in.
Feed in.
Why are we going around? Alright, I'm gonna get your flaps.
Dime Star 3 Whiskey Foxtrot, hold short, runway 17 left at Bravo 8.
Hold short, 17 left, Bravo 8, 3 Whiskey Foxtrot.
Alright, and then we're gonna sidestep.
39 X-ray, you're now following your meridian, 1 mile final, runway 17 right, clear to land.
So go ahead and sidestep to the side of the
In
runway.
sight, clear to land,
Sidestep?
17
Yep.
right, 39 X-ray.
Okay.
Cessna 06 uniform, you still have traffic to follow ahead of you inside of cap flight.
We're looking.
How far to the side? Do I just want to be right
06
beside it?
uniform, if you need to, you can widen out.
Yeah,
to the
just
right.
enough to the side that if there's somebody else on the runway for
Yeah,
some
okay.
reason and they take off, we're not gonna be right over them.
43
Gotcha.
Lima, thanks for your help. I just need some spacing behind you for meridian. I just got a short final. You can turn crosswind over Lincoln. Thanks for your help.
All right, turn crosswind over Lima 43 Lima.
06 uniform has that traffic.
Dude, we're short final. What the hell are we going around
Down to your
for?
right on final runway 17 right, clear touch and go.
And then we do have a Cessna right there.
King
Yep, I see him.
on
Perfect.
4 mile right base for the pedal, 7,600. He's
I
standing
got
for the
turned a little
pedal.
bit, so.
Okay,
Better now.
17 right, clear touch and go, Cat 586.
Cessna 325, make a left 360.
Left 360, 225.
Cessna 43 Lima, main instructions, turn crosswind quarter mile past Lincoln.
All right, crosswind quarter mile past Lincoln 43 Lima.
Cessna 06 uniform, follow the cap flight head to your right on the right base, runway 17 right, clear touch and go.
7 right, clear touch and go. Follow the Cessna 06 uniform.
Meridian Center, Whiskey Alpha, Centennial Tower, you up?
Well, now you've seen it go around.
Yep, that was interesting. That's Lincoln right there.
3 Whiskey Foxtrot, cross runway 17 left, company 1 off.
Yep. And then a quarter mile past.
Crossing 17 left.
So about like
Out here.
right here, yeah.
The hospital.
Thank you for your patience.
You still have that Cessna over there in sight.
I lost him.
Cessna 06 uniform traffic over the reservoir.
He's right off our
Change
strut.
7100 descending.
Roger, I have nice verification.
I'm climbing. I gotta stay at pattern altitude.
Cessna 225, extend down one of your traffic to follow, is turning over the south shore of the reservoir right base. 7000 indicated Cessna.
Extended downwind, looking for traffic, 225.
I'm gonna pull some power out. All right.
Cool.
Now we get to do it all over again.
Yep.
That was exciting.
Yeah, awesome. So basically when they say go around, just full power, starting that climb, carb heat in, and then you don't want to start working your flaps out too much because then we'll sink like what we've seen out in the practice area. So you want to start to initiate that climb and then start to just slowly work your flaps out once you get to a safe altitude.
39 X-ray.
Turkey 39 X-ray, remain this frequency.
I am too fast.
39 X-ray.
Cessna 225, traffic to follow, headed to your right, just half a mile south shore of the reservoir, 6400 indicated Cessna.
Traffic in sight, 225 will follow.
225, follow that Cessna, only 17 right, clear, touch and go, 102 at 4.
17 right, clear, touch and go, will follow traffic, 225.
Turkey 39 X-ray, hold short, runway 17 left at Bravo 8.
Hold short, 17 left at Bravo 8, 39 X-ray.
Go, that's better.
Cessna 43 Lima, you're following Cessna on the right base, just south of the reservoir, 6500 indicated.
All right, traffic in sight, 43 Lima.
Cessna 43 Lima, follow that Cessna, only 17 right, clear to land.
Follow traffic, clear to land, 17 right, 43 Lima. There he is right there.
So we'll wait to do our configuration until he gets a little bit closer because he's kind of far out there.
Yeah, we're gonna have to extend our downwind.
Let's go ahead. We'll start to kind of get configured now.
Okay.
So go ahead and pull that power back a little bit. Maybe not quite as much.
I lost
like
him. Where'd he go?
He's down over here, kind of just above that like field.
Oh, I got him now. Okay, I see.
Go ahead and start to pull that power, carb heat, and flap.
Heat, first notch of flaps.
Perfect.
Okay.
And then when he gets at our 45 or so, maybe not quite,
586, turn crosswind over Lincoln.
we'll go ahead and start our base.
Say again for Cap 586.
Cap 586, turn crosswind over Lincoln.
Crosswind over Lincoln, Cap 586.
Right about here?
Yeah.
Or do you mean 45 behind us?
Nope, right here is good.
Okay. Oop, and I gotta get those pointed down. So would you change, so we're gonna be farther away from the runway, so do we change something as far as our, I've already been losing altitude though.
That's okay.
Glide slope or do you just play by ear when you see what's going on?
So I mean, using the glide slope is always going to be awesome. It's going to be a very good tool. I'm going to probably...
I got a nose down.
I mean, all the same airspeeds pretty much apply still. It's just extended. So we're going to be at 65 knots for longer on a short or on a longer final.
I feel like I'm a little high.
Yep. So I'd pull that power out. That'll help us get down. And let's go ahead and throw. Actually, wait. We're a little too fast. There we go. Now we can throw. We'll just do full flaps. That'll help us.
Okay. We've slowed down really fast.
There we go. We're a little high. That's okay.
Yep.
Kind of let it sink itself down. Alrighty. Looking good. Start to add just a touch of power back in. There we go. Keep that nose coming towards those 1,000 footers, towards the runway.
Okay.
Looking good. We're right on glide slope. I'm liking it.
Okay. A little off. Actually, not that bad.
Cool, keep that nose coming down. That nose coming down.
Cherokee 3939 X-ray, no
Little
delay,
more nose down.
17 left, ground plane went off, traffic clear,
Keep
1
aiming
mile
at that
final.
runway, perfect.
Not
Keep
delay,
that
we'll
nose
cross
coming down.
17 left, contact ground the other side.
Power out.
X-ray.
Yep, power out.
Oh,
actually, yeah,
586,
it's
runway
power back
17
in.
right, clear, touch and
Mike
go,
controls,
10205.
Sorry.
No worries.
586 clear, touch and go, runway 17 right.
All right. Cool, your controls back.
My controls.
So what happens, we just start sinking.
Yeah.
That's where you want to get that nose going back towards the runway, and then we can get down to that ground.
43 Lima, again, thanks for your help, turn left, Bravo 12, taxi north on Bravo, this frequency.
Left on Bravo 12. Remain this frequency, 43 Lima.
And north on Bravo, no problem. Thanks for your help, 43 Lima.
Cessna 06 uniform, follow Cessna ahead on the downwind over at Kia, runway 17 right, clear,
Nice,
touch
good
and
job.
go.
Yeah, the traffic follow in sight. 17 right, clear, touch and go, 06 uniform.
And we'll make this a little quicker getting off the runway just in case there's somebody behind us.
Yeah.
That's okay.
And Cessna 43 Lima, hold short, runway 17 left at Bravo 8.
Hold short 17 left to Bravo 8, 43 Lima.
Beautiful.
Off the line.
Cool, so we're just going to kind of, so here,
We
my
go-
controls
wanna
real
go
quick.
this way, right?
Yep, my controls. I'm just going to have you do the after landing checklist. It might be on the other
On the
side.
other page. Okay. Flaps up. RP cold. Mixture set. Lights as needed.
So this will be, we'll turn our landing light off.
Yeah, 586,
And we'll turn our strobe lights
for the
off.
Pearl Speed on 6800 descending.
Beautiful. Alrighty, your controls.
Alright, my controls.
Just that way we didn't have to stop back there. Ideally,
Yep.
we would stop. You could go through your checklist and then continue to taxi, but this will just kind of help us out. Nice citation.
Cessna 225, follow Cessna ahead on the downwind over at Kia, runway 17 right, clear, touch and go.
Alrighty, and then this is Bravo 8, so this is pretty standard what they do.
Yep.
We'll turn out, get on Bravo 8, hold short of 17 left. Yeah, 17 left. And then once he gives us clearance to cross the runway, we'll kick all our lights on. That way we're as visible as possible, and we'll expedite pretty quick over the runway. Once you're about halfway over the runway, that's when I'm going to pull my power out and
I
start
want to
slowing
hold
down.
short here, right?
Correct, yep.
Okay. Oop, turned a little too much.
Awesome. Yeah, so that landing, so what happened, everything was looking really good. Just had to keep that nose coming down. So basically what happened is we just flared too high.
Yep.
And that's why we were just falling. And you added some power back in, which was awesome, but then it was kind of getting a little squirrely in there.
Yep.
In theory, we probably should have just done a go-around, but it was able to be saved. But that's just what happened, and it happens. That's where you're just trying to get your sight picture figured out, too. In theory, you want to kind of keep that nose coming down towards the runway, which is going to feel weird, right? Keep that nose coming down, and then as we get closer, that's when you're going to level out and get in that ground effect, and just kind of stay in that ground effect where we're floating, and then...
43 Lima, traffic holding in position, cross runway 17 left, ground plane went off, have a good one.
Cross 17 left to the ramp, 43 Lima.
ground pointing on the other side, 43 Lima. Cool, cool.
43 Lima, you can cross Alpha into the ramp.
Cross Alpha to the ramp, 43 Lima.
Alright, so give us some power.
Right,
Keep going, rock
brakes.
and roll.
Yeah, I want to go kind of fast, right?
Yep.
Cessna 43 Lima, traffic at Alpha 8 will give way to you.
Alright, traffic will give way, 43 Lima.
Perfect. Alright, so now that's when I'll pull the power out and start to
Okay.
slow down.
Okay. So we're gonna
Alright,
go
let's
over
see
to
what
the
this
right.
guy does. He's not giving away.
I don't know what he's doing.
Alright,
Alright.
we'll just sneak over that way. Perfect. Check right, check left, nobody's coming. Beautiful, and then watch out for this Cirrus too, I don't know what they're doing.
I want to go down.
Yeah, so let's go ahead.
I just go ahead?
Yeah. Looks like he's waiting for us.
Okay.
I don't know what he's doing.
I want to stay clear.